Good morning and welcome to our Harmony Alumni Leadership Interview Series. Today, as usual, we have the host, Daniel Bustillos. Mr. Bustillos, welcome.
Hello.
And our guest speaker is Ms. Alejandra Plascencia. Welcome, Alejandra.
Hi.
How are you
Hi,
today?
Alejandra.
Good, and you, sir?
Good, good. Great to see you. Thank you for joining, and I'll leave the floor to Danny. So, questions.
All right. Well, first of all, hi, Alejandra. Thank you for accepting our invitation. We wanted to take this opportunity to just learn a little bit more on the path that you've been on and, your career choices, kind of just catching up session, right? Seeing where you are right now. So if you wouldn't mind, could you tell us a little bit about yourself, about where you are with your education right now or with your career?
Wow, okay. So I just recently got my bachelor's in computer information systems this past spring, actually. I'm currently working on my master's in higher education leadership. And while I'm working on it, I'm actually currently teaching technology for middle and high school at hsi here in El Paso.
Oh, that's really cool. So you did say that you're going for your master's in, what was it, like educational?
Higher education leadership.
What is that?
It's like administration's kind of positions. It teaches you leadership and lets you expand on your leadership abilities. That way you can handle a more administrative role in education.
And is that for like any education, or is there like a certain educational field you're trying to pursue?
I'm not exactly trying to pursue a specific educational field. I am trying to get in administration in the future. So I'm working on that. And the master's that I chose, it's higher education. So it does focus a bit more in higher education. So like universities and colleges. So that's where I'm working right now.
What was it that made you decide want to like choose that career or to head in that direction, right? Of like higher education, administrative job?
Well, it actually started with Harmony, like always. I just noticed like how all our teachers were always invested in us. Like they would stay after school. They were always willing to help, like no matter what time it was. They were always there, like no questions asked. We could always count on them. They were really supportive. So that kind of like in high school, that kind of made me want to pursue something in education. And we had a testing coordinator. I don't know if you remember her, Miss Molina. We had her in campus, and she was just very dedicated with the students. I broke my arm during AP tests, and she like went out of her way to like make sure that I still got to test with extra time, that I still had my exams. And I just started noticing like she was between HSI and HSA. So she was always on both campuses, and I started noticing like just how invested and how dedicated she was to the students and making sure we got education. And I really started liking what she did. And that's when I started kind of looking more into administration, and that's why I started liking it.
That's really cool. In fact, it's funny that you mentioned her. I was part of her first teaching class before she became part of the administration team. And you're right, she was absolutely like incredibly dedicated. The way she got along with all of us, maybe it was because we were her first class or something, I'm not sure, was as if we were her friends. So I see where you get some inspiration from her, or a lot of inspiration from her. Like I definitely agree with you. So you're teaching and you're going for a master's degree, plus you just recently graduated, right? Congratulations for that, by the way. Well, what is something that you would say was very critical for you to reach the point where you are right now?
I mean, at this point, I felt it was my focus on school, for sure. I guess when I started college, I wasn't as dedicated. And well, I mean, with time you start dedicating more. And I think that's what really helped me, because I was unsure until what, like I said, I did want to go into education, but I was getting my bachelor's in computer information systems, which I do love and everything, but I did want to move more into education. And I was interning at Harmony, and that kind of helped me like level out a lot more because I was gaining the education experience because it's teaching, it was everything. It was like I was getting more the aspect into teaching while still working on my bachelor's, and that kind of helped me like balance both of them, and it helped me a lot with my focus.
I see. And you did mention that you got your bachelor's in CIS, which we've already had somebody explain to us. It means computer information systems, right? Which is kind of a mixture between business, marketing, and technology, of course. Do you ever apply this to like what you're doing right now?
Well, actually, one of the classes that I teach is Principles of IT, which is Principles of Information Technology. So it's very, very similar. And we are currently working on, I'm working on teaching them like their usage of Excel and just basically all the business applications that we manage. So I've been using a few projects that we did at college. So, and it's been helping them, and they're actually learning, which is the way I see it, it's good for them because they're already like kind of preparing for college. They already like
Right,
have a head start. Because when I started, like some of the things I wasn't familiar with, and
right.
I feel like they're getting like a sneak peek like earlier on.
That's really cool. And you kind of mentioned when you started, so we can go back a couple of years to when you were in Harmony, when you were a student here. Did you, were you part of any extracurricular or like leadership activities during your time here?
I was in robotics. I was in CRLP. I did some UIL competitions. I did try to stay active, but that's kind of what led me into IS. And
Yeah, I
because
was actually gonna ask if like any of those activities inspired you or gave you an idea of what you wanted to go into after graduating high
I
school, sorry.
really, I really liked robotics. It was a fun experience. I initially did want to go into engineering, but it just wasn't for me. And IS like still had like kind of touch bases on that, so that was something that I leaned more into since I do like more like businessy stuff, if that makes sense,
It
more
does.
organization and stuff. So that's kind of why I went to IS since it was a mixture of both.
That's really cool. We actually had another alumni who wanted to go into the biomedical field, but she also has her own business and started her own business and stuff. So we love hearing things like this, like where we wouldn't expect, you know, for you to be trying to do something on the opposite spectrum of what your career choice is. So that's really good to hear. You know, here at Harmony, we're very like STEM based, right? So it's really nice to see that these extracurricular activities actually do motivate and influence our students and our alumni, of course. I have a question for you. Where do you see yourself in 10 years?
Well, in 10 years by then, hopefully. No, I should by then or have already finished my master's. And hopefully by then I'll be working in an administration position, working because like I mentioned, I am more into organization and like businessy stuff. And I feel like the administration handles a lot more documents, like, and that's fun as well. But
That's crazy to hear.
Alejandra,
yes, sir.
you know, what grade did you enter Harmony? At what grade?
I started in 4th grade.
Fourth grade. So you graduated from Harmony, right? You went to college, and you didn't mention this, but I know about you. I know this about you. You were part of GYT, right? Grow Your Own Teacher Program as a
Yes,
teacher as well. So you worked on campus. Plus, now you're teaching, right? Maybe you
yes.
can talk about this, and can you talk about the feeling that you're going through right now? Like, how does it feel to give back or to teach at Harmony, where you grew up, where you went for school, and where you worked as an intern?
Okay, well, as I was mentioning earlier, Harmony did play a huge important role in why I wanted to go into education because, like I was telling Danny, my teachers always stayed after school. Saturdays for our AP testing, they were always there, even if they didn't have to be to like help us gain that extra time of learning. And I really wanted to do that. They played a huge important role in my upbringing in who I am today. And it's because of all the time they dedicated, they believed in me, they believed in all of us, they supported us. And I wanted to give back. I wanted to do the same for other students. which is why I wanted to go into education. I got into GYOT and it helped me a lot. So the GYOT is the Grow Your Own Teacher program. And it helped me a lot because I didn't have to worry about my school expenses. They would, the GYOT program, how it works, it's like a scholarship-based.
Financial assistant.
Yes, there we go. Thank you, sir. And every semester you get up to 2,500 in out-of-pocket expenses for school. So that really helped me out when I didn't have to worry about the out-of-pocket expenses for school because GYOT would cover them, whether it was books, whether it was a new computer, whatever that I needed, as long as it was between the 2,500 per semester. And during the same time, I was working at Harmony. They gave me a GYOT position, which was another internship. That way I could already start working on my teaching skills. That way I could already start having some experience and not start teaching without prior experience.
You would say that they help you be prepared to become a teacher and a student, kind of, well, and the students.
Pretty much, because they pretty much lifted all the weight of me having to worry about the expenses, the college expenses, and just focus on my actual studies, while at the same time I was being paid to learn and to prepare myself to be a teacher, which was
that's really cool.
Good.
Yeah. How do you like teaching so far? Is this your first semester teaching?
Yes, it's actually my first semester. I started in January. It's been something else. It's been a bit hectic, the whole online teaching, virtual learning.
First year teaching, first year virtual teaching. You're getting all the experiences.
Yeah, it's not the same as I had learned in the actual classroom, but it's going. Like I said, it does get a bit hectic, and it's not easy, but the lesson planning and everything, keeping the students engaged, it is a bit of a constant struggle. We have to keep innovating stuff to like make sure that they're engaged, they're participating. But at the end of the day, like when you see them participating and asking questions, like it makes it worth it. So
absolutely. I used to help teach K through 5th technology. They're at HSI as well, actually. And it was really cool, especially when we had the little kids all like on their computers, super quiet, super into what they were doing. It pays off for sure. I definitely agree. We're done here. Alejandra, I just have one last quick question for you. What is some advice or a suggestion that you would give to our students and their families here at Harmony?
I mean, one of the suggestions would be to take advantage of everything that Harmony has to offer. Dual credits, APs, everything, all that helps you once you get into college. When I was in high school, they didn't have as many dual credits as they do now. And by now, like I've seen a lot of the graduates, they graduate and like they just need like an extra 1 or 2 classes to get their associates if they start here at Harmony, and that really helps them out a lot. It saves them money.
I wish they had that when I was in high school. Like it would have saved some time and money, right?
I think I only took like maybe like 2 classes. That was
wow. Well, thank you so much, Said.
Well, thank you, Ale, for joining us, for making this series possible, and for your time. And for our audience, thank you for watching. Stay tuned. To learn more about Harmony Public Schools, visit harmonytx.org. We'll be posting these videos and more to come. Thank you so much. Bye, guys.
See you guys.